There are so many people who are stuck in their business, like we spoke about before, stuck in a 9-to-5 that is sucking their soul dry. And this is a blessing that people get to know about. And I'm not holding a gun up against anyone's head. It's for you, it's great. If it's not for you, great. I love you all the same, right?
Let me ask, point blank, is it a pyramid scheme?
Point blank. And
welcome back to Wildly Empowered Women. Today we have a fun little topic for you. It's the Skeptic's Guide to Online Income in 2023. And I am joined by a woman who is very qualified to talk on this topic. Yaela is a high-ticket affiliate marketer and a certified master business coach. She's got 15 years of entrepreneurship under her belt, building businesses from the kitchen table to multinational, multi-million dollar enterprises.
I'm so excited. I love the professional skeptic title.
Welcome back to Wildly Empowered Women. Today we have a fun little topic for you. It's the Skeptic's Guide to Online Income in 2023. And I am joined by a woman who is very qualified to talk on this topic. Yaela is a high-ticket affiliate marketer and a certified master business coach. She's dedicated to supporting entrepreneurial spirits to go big and go home. I just love that quote, that motto so much. She creates a new success paradigm that allows them to create really big impact, big income, and also a big expansive life to match. So after all, the age of chasing success based on exclusively hustle is gone. I think we can all agree with that. Instead, she is someone that supports entrepreneurs in creating their own version of success in a really aligned and purpose-driven way. She's got 15 years of entrepreneurship under her belt, building businesses from the kitchen table to multinational, multi-million dollar enterprises. She's effortlessly combined the strategic with the intuitive and the pragmatic with the mindful. Over the years, she's coached and supported thousands of entrepreneurs worldwide in creating a business and life in which they get to be it all, unapologetically ambitious and uncompromising in their quality of life. So Yaela is someone that, as you're hearing, has so much experience in business, in traditional business, in, running those businesses from the top. And she's here building a high-ticket affiliate marketing business despite, obviously having the opportunity and having before traditional businesses. So thank you so much for joining us, Yaela. Really awesome to have you here today.
I'm so excited. I love the professional skeptic title because it's true.
Totally. And I don't blame anyone for being a bit skeptical because, someone with your experience and your background to go, you know what, I'm actually, despite all of my, huge career and experience, I'm actually going to park that or leave that career completely and move into the online space and into high ticket affiliate marketing. So can you explain what it is that you actually do before we get into the questions around it?
Absolutely. So like you said, I have an online high-ticket affiliate marketing business. And basically what that means is I get to promote someone else's product, someone else's business, and earn a commission, right? It's as simple as that. That's how affiliate marketing works. And because the organization can stay quite lean, because the users become the distributors and the marketing force and the sales force, those are, in our case, in a high ticket commissions, meaning, anything from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand or up to $6,000 commissions per sale. So that's in a nutshell, really briefly, what that is. What's quite different about the way we build this business, and I choose to build this business, is that it's heart-led, that it's personal brand-led, it's human-led. I'm not walking around promoting a product. I'm promoting a story, an opportunity, a vehicle, because I think that's the one thing I have learned the hard way in my own entrepreneurial journey. As you've said, 15 plus years of different types of businesses, all shapes and sizes, under my belt, including many years of business coaching. So getting a little peek in the kitchen of so many different business models is that it is so often that we become the kind of collateral damage of our business. Our business runs us instead of vice versa. And in this specific model, this is the first one and the only one in all these years that I've encountered, where you can really focus on what it is you want to experience, who it is you want to be, what it is you want to share with the world, and have the business be a vehicle for your version of success instead of it being almost like a golden cage that traps you.
That's such a good analogy, the golden cage. It's like the more successful a business gets, actually the more trapped you are and the less amount of choice and freedom you actually have in so many traditional businesses.
100%. And I experienced that firsthand. I actually was writing something about that just now, where your business, if you don't have the freedom to be yourself, to spend your time, your energy on the things that matter most to you, the things and the people that matter most to you, you don't own a business. Your business owns you, and actually you're stuck. You're in prison and you're serving life. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm a former entrepreneurial inmate. You know, I had all of that, like so-called success, right? I had the multinational, multi-million-dollar business, the team all over the world, all the so-called success. And I was absolutely stuck. So I decided when I sold that last business that whatever I was going to do would need to be a vehicle, a way for me to get to where I want to be as a person and in life and live the life I want to live, instead of the business dictating who I was going to be, how I was going to spend my time, where I had to be and when. Because initially so many entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs start up with this beautiful fantasy and idea, just like me, that's going to set them free, right? That's going to, now they're their own boss. Now they don't have to answer to anyone. But the reality, even as a business owner, is that it's quite different. Is that you are often your own worst paid employee, wearing all the hats, doing all the things. And if you don't show up, bells and whistles, then nothing happens, right? And even in my coaching practice, which I still run and love, it's one of my love children. If I don't show up, nothing happens. And that means I am tied, I have that handcuff and I'm tied to that business. And we all know, we were speaking about this the other day, like lives for all of us. And sometimes we need the freedom to take a little step back or step sideways or focus our attention where it's most needed. And when you can't do that, like I couldn't in my previous business, couldn't be there for my children, couldn't be there for my family in the way that I wanted to be, I felt trapped, golden cage.
Yeah. And so that the freedom and the choice bit is such a huge thing and what so many people are attracted to this way of earning online for. But let's do some rapid fire skeptical questions around it. So let's do it. So you do affiliate marketing. What is it that you actually sell, and do people actually want to buy what you sell?
So when you do affiliate marketing, the most important thing is you actually do sell a product or a service, right? We're not here just fluffing air and then selling some intangible dream. So when choosing a company to partner with, there's a couple of things that I think are really important as a skeptic, because when I was first introduced to this, I didn't even understand this whole model, that are really important to look at, right? So I'm affiliated with a company in the health and wellness industry. So I'm a business girl. I'm a numbers girl. I like building businesses. I like making money. So when doing this, I don't just look at what's the product? I look at what is the growth potential, right? Now, the health and wellness industry globally is booming. It's projected to, I don't even know the exact number, but some insane number with $1 billion behind it. to grow to that point in the next couple of years. So for me, it's important when you look at partnering with a company and selling someone else's product or service that you look at, does that product or service align with your core values? So in my case, this is a company that stands for health, true health, not just physical health, but also economical health. Because we all know if you are stressed out about making ends meet, you can, eat the most beautiful organic food in the world and be super healthy and do your breath work every morning. But that stress is going to have an impact and vice versa. So it's a stand for health, which also not just from a core value perspective, but from a business perspective, especially over the last few years, I think we can all agree that that awareness and the importance of health being true wealth is no longer a nice to have, right? It's a macroeconomic trend, if you want to look at it really like flatly from the business perspective. Now, secondly, it's a company that stands for sustainability. Again, this is no longer a nice to have. This is no longer a trend or a fad. It is a given, and it's going to become more and more important. And it's for me very important that if I'm going to put my name to anything I do, be it business, be it in life, that I know that our quality standards also really align. So I wanted to partner with a company that really has all those, not just qualifications, but that importance and that value placed on quality. And then finally, for me, as a globetrotter, you could say, I'm originally from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I've been living in New Zealand now for almost 7 years. I've lived in different countries over the years. The people I connect most with and the people I love to work with are everywhere, right? My coaching clients, my people in this business, they're everywhere. So for me, it's important that this business also has a geographical growth potential, right? So that you're not aligning and affiliating with a company and basically you're tied to your own backyard and you end up, knocking on your friends and your neighbors' doors, and like that's not a vibe that I want to work with. So for me, when looking at that, those things are really important. Does the company align with your core values? And does it make business sense, right? So I'm saying it's in the health and wellness industry. Now, the company I'm affiliated with creates Japanese water technology. Now, I don't know about you. I think there's nearly 8 billion people on this planet. Pretty sure each and every one of them drinks water, is made for over 70% out of water. And with that increased awareness around health and sustainability, and then the international network around it, it became a no-brainer a little bit. I still had a million questions, but I think that's really important to look at.
Yeah, amazing. And so in terms of starting your business, this is a really big question that we often get asked is like, cool, so I'm going to be an affiliate. I'm going to partner with the Japanese water company. I'm going to sell their products, but I don't really want to spend any money. Like I don't want to invest 10 to 16K starting my business. Why would I? So what would you say to that?
Oh, I love that one so much. Listen, I can give you the cliche, you have to spend money or invest money to make money, which is a cliche for a reason, right? I really believe if you want something to pay you like a business, you get to treat it like a business. But on a broader scale, especially people who are looking into different ways to start a business, maybe a traditional business, brick and mortar, or even like just an online service-based business like my coaching practice. People grossly underestimate the actual startup costs of starting any business. And that's not even taking into account all the labor and the hours and the falling flat on your face and the reinventing of the wheel that comes with that. Like for me, when I'm going to be brutally honest, when I first got introduced to this business, I saw the business model and I saw the investment and I laughed. Not because I had that money just lying around, but because I've built so many businesses and supported so many entrepreneurs that initial investment next to the potential return and the yield that's possible, and the level of the risk, which is so low because we're building a personal brand. So we're in the driver's seat. We're not just waiting on someone else to come and save us. When I saw that, actually, that's where my skepticism initially came from. Like, this cannot be true. So when people struggle making an investment, I think it's very important to get really clear on two things. One, if you know you're going to start a business anyway, get realistic about the startup costs of any business. And when you think about the startup costs, know that you are your business's greatest asset. You're the engine. So it's very easy to be like, oh, but that's just my time. Those are just my hours. But that is actually that time that you are saving by tapping into an existing and proven model. The time that you are saving by tapping into community and mentorship is insane. So I think that is very important to remember. And I think a question to ask yourself as well is, people ask about the investment and they're concerned about the ROI, right? The return on investment. How quickly do I make my money back? Will I make my money back? And the amazing thing and the most frustrating thing in this business model and in entrepreneurship is that that's completely up to you, right? But instead of just focusing on the ROI, I always ask people, what's the COI? And the COI stands for the cost of inaction. What is it actually costing you and those around you if 6 months from now or a year from now, you're exactly where you are today? If you don't take action towards your dreams, if you don't go all in on that vision and take that leap and invest in yourself and in a model that is sturdy, that can bolster you, that can support you in that pursuit of that ROI, what is the actual cost? Not just to you, but to those around you, like, A, who wins when you win, but also who loses and stays in struggle and scarcity and lack because you're too scared to move.
I love that, COI. It's like, if you've been attracted to earning an income online, why? Like, what is it that you're trying to move away from? And are you still going to be in the same place if you literally sit around and do nothing? So I love that. I also wanted to share, like, with what you've shared about the ROI, like the return on the investment. I invested $10,000 to start my business and I'd earned that back within 4 months. It does depend on how much time and how much effort you are going to put into your business and how much do you really want it. Like, I was so determined to replace my income within 12 months that I would have done anything to get there, right? And I was on a 12-month contract, so I had to. Otherwise, I would have no income at all afterwards. So if you're looking at something to do that, like, it needs to pay high commissions. It needs to have a very high ROI if you're looking to, potentially, I'm assuming that people that are attracted to this episode are already in business or already have a professional, career. And, you're not going to get that by just selling something that is low ticket and you're not earning a lot from. So definitely it's the ROI. I'm also curious what else you saw. Like, obviously the upfront commissions are great and you saw that the investment is, was a great investment long-term, but what else is it that you saw that you were like, right, this is worth every penny and more?
For me, I think there's a couple of things that really kind of broke the camel's back in a positive sense, right? Healed the camel's back. I think, like I said, I saw the compensation plan, I saw the commission, I saw the structure that was built like you'd build a house, like you'd build a brick wall, where every sale you make, every step you take compounds. It's a compounding asset. So that to me was really, really important because, like I said, sometimes, your focus is elsewhere. I'm a single mom of 2 teenagers. I have a coaching practice and I like to have a life as well. So I'm not always fully in this, and I want to I wanted to know that whatever I put in compounds and stays there, which is really important. Now, a second thing that really that actually changed the game for me is when I learned about our company's legacy wealth plan. Now, the legacy wealth plan, really, really compact, is basically an amazing program they have where you hit a certain sales volume in your business, not alone, which was the key thing for me, with your team, and you get paid out residual income starting at 5K USD and going all the way up to something insane like 80K per month for life, which is willable to your children. Now, when I saw that, if we're talking about the skeptic's guide, like all my spidey senses went off. Like I legit had people send me proof of those monthly payments because I just could not fathom that was a serious possibility. But when I thought about it, and let me be very clear, that's not something, easy peasy, everyone does it, everyone gets here. Like I keep saying, this business is not for everyone, right? It really isn't. And I think that's great, right? Because the people who see the value in it really commit and go the distance. So this legacy wealth, starting at, like I said, 5,000 per month for life, plus bonuses and everything else. And that's outside of your commissions. As a single mom, as an entrepreneur of 15 years, I saw my retirement plan. I saw my children's uni fund. And I asked myself, if this takes me 5 years, 10 years, you know what? Fuck it. It takes me 15 years to get there, which is a lot of years, I can say. Because by now, 3.5 years in, I'm well on my way there, right? But at that time, being skeptical, I'm like, okay, if I can invest, let's say 10 years of my life of working a few hours a day, completely location-free, with the people that I genuinely love, supported by the mentors who have the results I want, if that can be my reality, and I have the opportunity to set myself and my children up for life, and I can will this to my children in the case of my passing, like show me another investment where I'm in the driver's seat, not like I'm putting it in property or gold and silver or crypto. Like I'm all about, diversifying your investments, but anything else that I invest my money in, I put my money in and I sit there, fingers crossed, waiting, praying, hoping, manifesting that the market will do this or the economy will do that. Where this, I put my money in and I'm in the driver's seat, right? If I don't like the output, if it's not going fast enough, if I'm not making enough, I change the input and I am in control of that. And when I saw that potential, I'm like, I'd be robbing myself, my children, and my wider community, because imagine what you can do for others. Imagine what you can create and what you can give in when you are taken care of and you've built that. So that was, I would say, the second major aha moment for me when getting introduced to this business model, and also the second biggest, how is this even real moment? So I get it. I get that people, who are new to this hear this like, that's not possible. That must be a scam. That's not. I can tell you now, 3.5 years in, head on heart, it is not. But coming from a hustle mentality, even as a business coach who was all about going big and going home, we grow up in a society, we are still programmed to believe that we have to struggle, we have to hustle, and we have to work our cute little asses off to maybe retire on some stingy fund every month. And that it has to be difficult. And I get it, right? Because if everyone knew this, and if everyone believed it got to be I don't want to say this easy because it's not easy. It gets to be this simple, right? There's a big distinction between easy and simple. Who the hell would go to work? Who the hell would do things the hard way? I know I can never go back now that I've seen it. You can't unsee it.
Yeah, great point. Like we still need to have people in normal jobs. And I guess the reason is not everyone is open-minded and thinks this way, right? Like there is a lot of conditioning in the world around, the 40-hour weeks, the working for 40 years, the going to uni and getting a job. And, that type of business is for a different type of person than me. When in reality, if you are filling the pool and you have that desire, then it probably is for you. So you've shared about, passive income and being able to get to this point where you paid income for life and, how amazing that is. And, when we say passive or residual income, it means, getting paid even when you're not making sales or you're not specifically the one putting the work in, right? So that type of earning sounds great. But let me ask point blank, is it a pyramid scheme?
Point blank. And no, those things are very illegal. Just in case. I know we were just talking about entrepreneurial prison. It's not that kind of prison. And actually, not that. So no, short answer is absolutely not. The longer answer is I think a lot of people have in their lifetime encountered, well, either back in the day, legit pyramid schemes, the old whatever parties at home, traditional network marketing or MLMs. And I can see that there are certain things that are, I would say MLM adjacent, right? In the business model, in the sense that you earn a commission based on sales, both from your direct sales and from your indirect sales. The crux or the whole difference in this specific business model, because like I said, skeptic as fuck, so I looked at all the different options at the time as well, and still sometimes do, just to see what's out there, right? Is that this business actually has a patented compensation, meaning that there is a fixed amount of commission to go around. And when that commission pie is fully been eaten, it's gone. That means you can totally out-earn whoever you came in through. That means that you can totally earn the full commission that is paid out by yourself. And this is, what I'm doing in this business. I know that's what you're doing in this business. There's nothing that goes up or down or sideways. The way I like to see it personally is, well, first of all, the concern around earning a commission from a sale is sometimes just baffling to me, right? You don't go into a store and buy a dress and ask the owner, how much did you buy this for? And then be like, oh my God, how rude. You are making a margin? What? That's so rude. How dare you? You're just trying to get me. You're just trying to get my... Like, that's an insane scenario. But when it comes to online business, that's kind of a mentality that still lingers from time to time. So first of all, that whole mentality is a bit ridiculous to me, but I understand where it came from and that there's sometimes some remnants of that still floating around. And the way I saw it when I was first getting started. So when I first got started, obviously I wasn't making the full commission, meaning that, whoever I came in through was still earning some and whoever they came in through was still earning some. And I saw it almost as an apprenticeship, a mentorship, a coaching contribution to them, to my elders in the business who were teaching me the ways and are teaching me the ropes and teaching me how to do it. And that gave me so much pleasure knowing that they were supporting me and teaching me the ways and knowing that they were also rewarded for that effort. And I think a key thing that I have never seen in any other business is that the concept around the whole business model is truly built on collaboration, where traditionally businesses are often kind of like elbowing your way through and just, like I said, making the sale and getting there first. This is truly a collaboration-based business model, meaning, the legacy wealth we were speaking about before, the only way to get there, is to help other people get there. You can't like single-handedly just fucking push your way through everyone to that legacy wealth. So the business model is so cleverly constructed that you are incentivized to coach people, to mentor people, to take people by the arm, to pick them up when they're down, and to help them thrive. And I love that so much. It's almost like an insurance policy when I got started. Like you said, you invested 10K. I think I invested 12 New Zealand when I got started. And that was a scary moment, right? It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But knowing that the people who have gone before me have a vested interest in not just my getting by, but my thriving, was such a cushion to fall back on. And it's such an honor now, 3.5 years later, to know that I can be that for others, to help them, guide them with my experience, not just as a business coach and entrepreneur, but in this business, because I know if I pour my heart and soul into the businesses that they're also choosing to pour their heart and soul in, we'll all win.
Love that. So skeptic hat back on. Okay, so say if I was to get a loan, similar to a car loan where I'm paying it off per month for like 10 grand, 12 grand, 15 grand, whatever it is that I decide to invest into this business, I just need to know that it works. I need to talk to my partner. My partner probably won't let me do it, but, I need to talk to my partner because I'm not working and the loan needs to be in his name, or, I need his permission or her permission to invest the money. Before we go on, I want to ask you a super powerful question. What would it mean to you to make decisions based on your soul rather than your bank balance? Freedom to me means having true autonomy and choice in your life to live based off your values and soul's desires, rather than what you can purely afford for you and your family or what your job requires of you. This is why I've been empowering women for the past almost 5 years to earn more with pleasure, earning your true worth without the insane hustle and with actually having choice in your life. It is so much more about how you earn rather than what you earn. If you'd like to learn more about how I mentor women to earn a time-leveraged income online, selling conscious, health-based products and learning the skills of personal branding and attraction marketing, both very sexy skills to have, then click on the link in the show notes or DM me the word info on Instagram so we can have a proper chat. I love having one-on-one convos with you savvy queens and showing you how this kind of income and our community can help you truly live wildly empowered. Big love, back to the episode.
Love that question. Get it so much. And I get it because we're looking for safety in our lives, right? That's how we're programmed. Our brains, our minds, our egos are programmed to gear towards safety. And safety is control. And when the unfortunate truth of life is that if you want to go somewhere you've never gone before and get results you've never had before, you're going to have to do things you've never done before, meaning you have to step out of your comfort zone. And unfortunately, out of that comfort zone, it's uncomfortable, right? Because it's not safe. It's not known. The comfort zone is not necessarily about comfort. The comfort zone is about what we know and therefore deem as safe. So to break your question in two parts, right? The first part is like, how do I know that it works? I need to know that it works. I need to know that I'm going to get results. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I'm always brutally honest with anyone. Like I always tell everyone the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I'm not in the business of convincing anyone to do anything, right? This is a you choice. This is a you opportunity. But you get to know the options and get to know all the ins and outs so you can make an empowered decision. So how do you know it works? You don't, right? You don't know. Like, the one thing I can guarantee is that if you don't bust a move, nothing will happen. And the reason I can guarantee it is because I did that. I jumped in and I invested my 12K, and then I freaked out. Then, only after I started, I had my moment of, oh my God, maybe it's a scam. Maybe it's a pyramid scheme. I've never done business this way. I've always done everything, build my own brand, done things my own way, like not used. I didn't know how to make it make sense for myself. So what I did is, I could save you all a lot of time, is I froze for 5 months and I didn't do anything. And if I spoke to people about it, it was with a level of like almost embarrassment. I always, pardon my French, just, you know me, I always used to talk about this business as if it was chlamydia, right? I'm like, and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a certified master business. Oh, and I also have this high ticket affiliate, but a dirty little secret. It was insane. And shocker, I know it's a shock, but when you don't talk about a business or you talk about it like a dirty little secret, nothing happens, right? It took me 5 months, which is why I'm so happy I get to teach others this, so it doesn't take them 5 months. But it took me shifting my mindset from, it was a conversation I had with one of the first beautiful women to ever join this business. And I was still in my chlamydia phase. And just for the record, this is an analogy. I'm not talking literally. And I was, still kind of embarrassed on the sales calls because I didn't have the results myself yet. And she looked at me on Zoom and she's like, oh, I cannot wait to bless people's lives with this opportunity. And when she said that, like that just hit me straight in the feels. Because all of a sudden it went from, oh, here I am, sleazy, trying to sell people something, to there are so many people who are stuck in their business, like we spoke about before, stuck in a 9-to-5 that is sucking their soul dry, stuck not seeing their kids, stuck in unhappy or even unsafe relationships because they don't feel they have that autonomy and that freedom to advocate for themselves and get behind the wheel. And this is a blessing that people get to know about. And I'm not holding a gun up against anyone's head. It's for you, it's great. If it's not for you, great. I love you all the same, right? So first, to circle back, because I'm digressing a little bit, how do you know it works? I know that if you don't do anything, if you are not coachable, if you are not willing to push yourself out of that comfort zone, it's not for you. It won't work. But what I do know is that when you are ready to have those different results, and often that comes from a place of just being so goddamn uncomfortable in your current situation. We often move either the carrot or the stick. For most of us, it's the stick. Sometimes we just have to get so sick and tired of whatever circumstance it is we feel trapped in that we're motivated to move. And if you're willing to move and move into this with an open heart, open mind, I always say it is always a plunge in the deep, but it's a deep filled with unicorn floaties. Like there is so much support in terms of coaching, training, automation, proven systems and funnels and all the things. Like you can drown in the support sometimes. There is so much support. So it's not a question of how do I get rid of that feeling of taking the plunge, because you're going to take a plunge. Mm. And that, I don't know about you guys, but every time in my life that I'm about to level up, that I'm about to do something big, bold, and brave, I'm scared, because that to me, it's the signal that I'm on the precipice of something big. So I can't guarantee you that it's not a lunge, but I can guarantee you that when you dive in the pool with us, there are unicorn floaties and pina coladas all around. So you have all the support you need to swim and, just thrive in that space. And then as for the partner part of the question, I had this conversation with this beautiful woman in Melbourne the other day. And she was struggling with the same thing as you're talking about, right? She was excited, she was kind of all in, but her partner didn't see it, didn't believe in it. And the conversation I shared with her was the beauty of this business with the level of support that we just spoke about that is there, with the level of automation and done for you operations that is there, both through the business and through our collective. What you are doing is you're building a personal brand. The question is not, does your partner understand the product, or does he understand online business? Maybe he's in a very traditional business model. The question is, does he believe in you? Does he believe that you will go all in on yourself? That's the question I would ask my partner. I'm like, can you trust me to have my own back and go all in on me? And all the rest, how I do it, doesn't matter. In the end, I think entrepreneurship in general can be quite a lonely journey when you don't have a collective and your tribe around you. And I've had to learn the hard way to stop asking blind people to proofread my vision. It's my vision. If I know in my heart, if I feel that nudge, that pull towards something, and I know it's for me, it's tempting to look for people to validate that, but no one else can see that. That's yours. So ask someone to believe in you and to trust you, and ask yourself, do I trust myself to navigate that pool full of unicorn floaties? Because then I think success is inevitable.
I could not agree more. And I remember having the conversation with my husband because I couldn't get a loan. We had to pay cash. Like, we had to take the money from money that we basically didn't have, but we needed to move out and buy a house. We ended up moving in with my in-laws so that we could use that money to start this business. And I remember sitting him down with a whiteboard so I could show him, like, what the return would be, how many sales I would make to make back that money, what it would look like then, etc. And I said to him, like, I've made my decision. I'd love for you to support me, but I'm not asking for permission. I've actually made the decision already. And I'm just, the reason I'm so excited and I'm like a bit nervous to talk to you about it is because I really, really want you to see what I see. And I really want your support, but I'm doing it anyway. Like, I would have literally done anything to get that money to start this business. And 5 years in, I earn multiple of what I invested per month. So obviously it's paid off. And I know it's paid off, a zillion fold for you also. And as women, if we've made a decision, it's like, if we want to buy the shoes, if we want to buy the dress, if we want to buy the thing, it doesn't really matter what our partner thinks because we're going to get it regardless. We'll find a way out of no way if it's something we really want and really believe. What was that?
Yeah. I said, well, girl math.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Girl math. But like, it's true. Like, I made the decision just like you to go all in. I paid in full, had my little freak out moment, had my 5 months of, and then when that switch flicked for me, within a month or two, I invested $12K to begin with. I had a $12K week. And it blew my mind. Now, also, just for the record, that's not every week in my business. But it just blew my mind how I was so hung up and spent 5 months having a extended panic attack over a $12K investment and telling myself, okay, I have to break even within the year. And do I believe that I can do that in a year? And then 2 months after actually getting my ass into gear, doing that in a week, it just changed my perspective. And that's the beauty of a business model that doesn't trade time for money, where you're not trading your life away for success or for money, because time is our most precious resource. Like, no matter how productive you are, no matter what you do, how enlightened you are, we all still have 24 hours in a day. So if you get paid for time, you are always capped. There is always, people talk about like, a glass ceiling, or even in these kinds of business models. Yeah, but like it's going up to other people. But this is uncapped, right? You can make as many sales as humanly possible. I can't even think of a number that would be the max if you find the strategy that will allow it, because of the time leverage and the time freedom. And that is something you don't have in any other traditional business model, job, online business, coaching. I mean, I love it. But I realized really quickly that as a coach, if I wanted to go big and go home, to be unapologetically ambitious, because I didn't want to, trade my ambition and my zest for just a lush, expansive life for money, or like for quality time. Be like, okay, well then I'll just earn less and just, not build new businesses. No, that wasn't a fair trade-off for me. In any traditional business model where you are providing a service or selling a product that is not automated and time leveraged, there's a max to what you can do. And that the fact that doesn't exist in this realm, in this paradigm of this business, is so exciting to me. And it's not about the money, but it's about what could be possible. What could be possible if I travel the world with my kids to see my family, or if I'm on the beach, or working on a passion project. Is it possible to still be of service and still help people and still build this business? And this is the only business I've ever encountered in years of entrepreneurship and of coaching entrepreneurs all over around the world, where I can wholeheartedly say yes to that.
So it all sounds amazing, and the automation and the time leverage, but how much is actually automated? Because I'm not good at sales. One of my biggest hangups is that I won't be able to make sales. So what's the answer to that?
First of all, I would lovingly call you forward and tell you you're full of unicorn poop. Because I recently did a talk at an event around sales, and just in general, I just want to say that everyone is constantly selling or being sold to. And the example I used was, I don't know, for those of you who have children or, nieces and nephews, I don't know if you've ever watched a child convince their parent that they can just stay up just a little longer, or just have one more cookie or something like that. Oh, everything is a constant pitch and a reply to that. So I think we tell ourselves that story, as have I told myself that story for many years. The beauty in this business, I think the reality is not so much that we're not good at sales, because we naturally, if we're excited about something, we talk about it. The question is, it's gotten a bad rep. It's got a little bit of an ick factor because it feels salesy and icky and pushy. So we often don't want to do it, which is why we have taken all that heavy lifting off the hands of the people starting this business. Meaning, what do? Is they build a personal brand. And being a personal brand doesn't mean you have to be an influencer and have thousands of followers. It means you get to be you. Because when you're authentically you, people see me in life and online, hear me in this podcast, and some people will listen to this and be like, that's a cool chick. I resonate with that. And there's plenty of people who will listen to this and be like, ugh, what's her problem? Great. That's the beauty of a personal brand. You attract like attracts like. So through that, you attract people who are your people all over the world, which is one of the most magical things in this business. And from there on, everything from the lead generation to webinars that explain how the whole thing works, to a discovery process, to the sales calls, to the admin after the sales calls, can be done for you. So your job stepping into this business is to build that brand. I kind of use the example of a store. let's say you open a store on a high street in your local city, town, wherever. And because you're all starting an online business, so it's like a little store. And the internet or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're creating content is like the street. And there's people walking by. And your job is to be the window of that store, right? To make it look attractive to your kind of people, to have your people think, that looks cool. I want to walk in. But from the moment they enter the door, everything can be automated for you. So your job is basically to hold them by the hand and walk them through the store and chat with them and connect with them and get to know them while the heavy lifting is done for you. Now, I don't know where else that's a thing, that's a possibility, but I am yet to encounter it.
Yeah, and it's almost like, using all of this automation, it again, to your analogy of like being mentored by the people that already have the results that you want to have. It's like you get to witness how the webinars are done. You get to witness how that sales call went. Like you don't have to be the one doing it yourself. It's like if you to use your background as an example, when you had a PR agency, you were the one like going out there and pitching to the client. You were the one that had to then follow up with them and, like chase the invoicing and all of that. Like so much is done for you. And also, if you really want to learn how to do it yourself, you're learning from the best because you're learning from the people that have gone before you and are really good at it. But you actually always have the option to outsource it, which is where the time freedom comes from. Like, oh my gosh, sales calls. Like, using my background of being in network marketing, I would do a sales call for an hour and earn maybe $200 from it. Not thousands of dollars, $200. And maybe there's multiple calls involved or, then so much coaching and stuff. It's like, what is the actual return on investment of your time? So if you can outsource to someone that's going to do an epic job and it's going to give you more time, that is just so damn valuable. I love that for people who think they're not good at sales or they can't do sales. It's like, great. A, you don't have to when you start. And B, as you said, a lot of that is in your mind because you're literally already doing it.
Yeah, I love that. It's such a luxury because it gives you the ability to buy your life back, right? It gives you your ability to get that time back so that you can focus on being you and building your brand and the things that really move the needle in your business. Because let's face it, when you just get started, you don't yet have the results and the experience to truly, with full conviction, be like, yes, this is a game changer because you're just starting, right? So it's changed the game a little bit, but how beautiful when you can outsource it to people who have those results, do that for you. And then on the flip side of that, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who either have a service-based business or a traditional business and are adding this as either an additional revenue stream or looking to create more location freedom. And one thing I've learned in my years, and also just mainly by looking in the mirror, is entrepreneurs are really stubborn people. And we like to do things our own way, which traditionally is the hard way. So what I love is exactly what you said. There's the option of literally having everything done for you. And as you gain experience and confidence in your business, you can pick and choose what you want to do yourself or tweak or put in your own branding. Or if you have a very strong personal brand, you're a successful coach, for example, you can fully integrate this and completely make it your own. Like in the end, this is your business. The support is there for people who are new to this or people who are choosing to free up their time and whatever their reason may be. But there's also the option to completely customize it in your own brand, your own tone of voice, which I think is really, really important if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, because then it can feel really weird and inauthentic to just kind of all of a sudden lean into someone else's branding and product.
Yeah, we're a stubborn bunch of people, aren't we? Entrepreneurs. And I think that's a really good point that you've made, that you get to do this in the way that feels good for you. And if it means your own branding, your own way, that's also great and welcomed as well. And there's so many, structures in place already and templates in place already that you can just go and run with to make it your own. So last question, what would you say to someone that's kind of on the fence that's like, it sounds great, but, those girls can do it, but I can't, and there's a little bit of intrigue, but maybe a little bit of lack of self-belief or doubt in their mind.
Before we wrap up this episode, I want to ask you a question. Do you remember how you discovered this podcast? Was it a friend's suggestion or an Instagram story, maybe a post? Somehow you found it, and I'm hoping you're getting a lot of value from it. I need your help now to pay it forward so that other women can feel seen, heard, nourished, and more than anything, empowered from these conversations too. Big love, back to the episode.
I would lovingly call them forward, right? Like, I know I've shared my story, and there's a lot of, I have a lot of experience as an entrepreneur and in business. And starting this business, I had to unlearn it all and go completely back to the beginning. And because I was that stubborn, not coachable entrepreneur in the beginning, and wanted to do it all my way and not like, be like all the other, like just didn't click for me. So whatever it is that's holding you back is that same little voice we spoke about earlier that's trying to keep you safe and keep you in your comfort zone. And safe and the highest expression of yourself are two very different things. And I think if you're on the fence, you've already had that intuitive nudge. You've already seen what's possible. You see what's out there. And I believe wholeheartedly that if you can see something, you can create it. And when you have seen what is possible, knowing the level of support and automation and training and coaching and mentorship and that's available to support you in making that a reality. And these are proven systems. This is a company that's been around for 50 years, 50 next year, right? It's not like the latest. So this works. And it hasn't just worked for one person or for two people, for thousands, tens of thousands all over the world. If that voice is coming up for you and you've seen it and you're intrigued and you have that curiosity, my 2 cents would be you owe it. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to that little boy or girl inside who has seen the dream and feels like that could be me. Before the but comes in, the but this, but that, but you're not good enough, but you're this, but they're different. They're not different. I mean, we are all different, but no one here, people come from the most different backgrounds. So I would say you owe it to that little boy or girl inside of you to at least explore it. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to listen to that but, that comfort zone, that's it. That's the end of the world. That's your flat earth. Right there.
So good. And I just want to say, Yaela was on the podcast. I think it was actually about a year ago that we had you on the podcast. And in that episode, you gave so much value around your wider story and how you came to your success and the highs and the lows. And there was so much value shared in that episode around what it truly takes. So I encourage you, go back. It was within the first 10 episodes. I can't remember exactly what number it was, but go and look for that episode because there was so much value shared in that. So if anyone wants to follow you, work with you, learn more about the business, where should they go, Yaela?
The best place to find me is either on Instagram or on TikTok. So on Instagram, it's Yaela_Raber. It's a hard name to spell, but I'm sure you can see it somewhere. And on TikTok, it's Yaela Raber. Follow me there, connect with me, say hi. I love meeting the people behind the profiles. So drop me a line and let's chat.
Thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. That is a wrap of the Skeptic's Guide to Earning Online in 2023. Make sure you screenshot what you learned, screenshot the episode, share it in your stories, tag us, message us what you learned or, what you loved about the episode. Share it. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jess.